More big storms are on the horizon here in the United States that are bound to bring even more severe weather, including damaging winds, large hail, and even some tornadoes to parts of the United States. So in today's forecast, we're going to break down exactly what you can expect over the next 7 to 10 days and when the next big severe weather events will be here in the United States. Let's begin with the jet stream to give you an idea of the weather pattern that'll be impacting the United States. And this will kind of set the tone for this week and as well as next weekend. So right now we have this large-scale low-pressure system that's back over in the northeast. This has been continuing to bring some showers back over in New England, but nothing really that significant, at least to the rest of the country, other than a small shortwave trough that came through yesterday that brought also some severe weather to the Central Plains. But as we go into this weekend and into next week, you're going to notice a big pattern change, or you might not notice it immediately, but let me kind of outline it for you. So we have our jet stream that's going to be way back up here to the north, kind of curvy, which means it's a meridional jet stream. We have our low-pressure system still over the northeast, which should keep things a bit quieter, at least for those on the immediate east coast and back into the Midwest, as on the back side of this trough, it's going to have some more dry and also warmer air. And then back over in the southern plains, we are going to have an upper level high pressure system, which will keep things relatively dry, you would think, but we are going to have more shortwave disturbances near the surface, which are actually going to bring some showers and thunderstorms to those in the southern plains. So unfortunately, the weather pattern there will remain active. Now, once we go throughout the week, by Wednesday to Thursday, the jet stream is going to become zonal again, and this zonal flow is going to lead to a less active severe weather pattern, meaning that we're not going to have any super organized severe weather events. Any severe weather basically between now all the way through about Thursday or Friday will be mostly consistent with small scale systems that'll bring severe weather, not anything large scale. And usually when we have large scale disturbances, those can bring more significant severe weather events. So that's what we'll be watching for, and right now, at least through Thursday or Friday, that does not appear likely. What does appear more likely is that we will eventually see a large-scale low-pressure system enter the country as we either go into Thursday or Friday. Now, the European model in particular shows this low-pressure system back over in the Pacific Ocean, just south of California, just spinning there. That'll actually start as early as Monday, and it'll literally spin there all the way until Thursday. So that trough is just going to be spinning over the Pacific Ocean. But once we go into Thursday or Friday, the jet stream should dip down here to the south, and that'll kind of act like a magnet for this low pressure system, and these will eventually just kind of collide with each other. They'll kind of combine forces, and we'll eventually see a more organized low pressure system by Friday or Saturday, which will likely bring some severe weather event to the Great Plains. Where that happens and how significant that event is extremely uncertain, as we are still multiple days out, but it does look like as we get past June 13th or June 14th, I do think we're going to start to get some more large severe weather events. So nothing necessarily in the short term that looks substantial, but we could still have severe weather between now and Thursday. Just overall, no majorly organized storms look likely, at least for right now. Here's the supercell composite on the GFS model, and what we're going to show you here is where the greatest chance for any severe weather would basically be between now and all the way through next weekend. So this is as we go into tomorrow. There will be a narrow corridor from Texas back into even Tennessee where there could be some severe weather. Not everybody will see severe weather, but some of those areas could. And once we go into Monday, overall, not a really favorable environment for anything significant other than maybe the high plains back into Texas, where we could see some isolated severe weather. By the time we go into Tuesday, southern plains would be the main area to watch for, so Oklahoma and Texas. Once again, does not appear like any outbreaks are expected, but we could see some severe weather. By Wednesday, we might get a more organized area of severe weather across the Great Plains, but that still remains very uncertain. There is a lot, and I mean a lot of uncertainty once we get past Wednesday, with both the GFS model and the European model on completely different pages when it comes to where severe weather will happen. By the time we go into Thursday, maybe the Midwest or the Central Plains, but again, nothing super certain is expected, at least as of right now. By Friday into Saturday, we'll probably start to see more severe weather focused across the Great Plains, and then after that, things become really uncertain. I mean, we're talking about really just a lottery number sort of guess once we go into next week. Now, here's what we're talking about in terms of timing for the next few days, and by the way, we will be talking about today's severe weather event in just a moment, but let's start with Sunday. Showers and storms will be possible from the Ohio Valley back into Texas and Oklahoma, where isolated severe weather is possible. By Monday, storms possible in Texas, and then back over into the northern plains, where some severe weather, including damaging winds, hail, and maybe an isolated tornado will be possible. By Tuesday, we'll have some showers across the Midwest, nothing severe. Back over in parts of the central and southern plains, some showers and storms there. By Wednesday, we are going to get a lot of moisture in the Gulf of Mexico, which means lots of showers and storms are likely over in Florida, at least beginning on either Tuesday or Wednesday, if there is like very little amount of shear down there, we actually could get a tropical disturbance out of this, but that remains really uncertain as well. Again, a lot of uncertainty really past Wednesday, so stay tuned. We'll keep you posted with the latest if we end up having another video this week. Once we go into late Wednesday into Thursday, showers and storms possible in the Midwest, but nothing too significant expected there. By Friday, that is when we're probably going to start to see a trough eject over the Rocky Mountains, which should lead to some severe weather in the central and southern plains. By Saturday into Sunday, same sort of story. It looks like we'll get much more active weather pattern across the Great Plains and back into the Midwest for the weekend. And then as we go into the following week, things do again remain uncertain. In terms of the temperatures across the United States over the next several days, we are going to have some cold air going down into the Midwest. That should actually keep things a bit more stable, so any severe weather would be very, very minimal if we had any over the next few days, which I don't expect any, by the way. Once we go into Monday into Tuesday, that warm air mass will continue to sit in the southwest. That should eventually go away by the end of this upcoming week due to that low pressure system just offshore, but that might take a while because that low pressure system will just be spinning there overall. Pretty good amount of warm air advection across much of the United States, keeping things mostly warm across the country. By Saturday into Sunday of next weekend, it doesn't seem like anything's going to change in that department. I think overall mostly warm air across the country. Maybe over in the Northeast or New England, there could be some below average temperatures there. Maybe the Pacific Northwest by next weekend, but again, that still remains to be seen and still remains uncertain. Now let's talk more about today's severe weather event and as well as tomorrow. Here are the significant tornado parameter values for today, give you an idea of where the tornado threat might reside. We'll have a couple of different areas, one of which will be back over in Missouri, Arkansas, and maybe a small sliver of northeastern Oklahoma, the other of which back over in Colorado, where both areas could see an isolated brief tornado. I think it'll be more of a landspout threat for those in Colorado, but either way, it could still produce damage. A tornado landspout doesn't really matter. But once we go into late Saturday, I think our greatest potential for a tornado will exist sometime around 5 to 9 o'clock tonight across southern Missouri. We might get some sort of tornado risk there. I think maybe a tornado or two will be possible in that area, so make sure that you're staying weather aware, but overall that'll be the main time frame to watch for some sort of tornado risk. So in terms of the timing for today, we'll be watching for some convection this morning. Most of that should move out and the atmosphere should destabilize as we go into this afternoon in Missouri. This is by 2 o'clock. Storms will blow up back over in Colorado and western Nebraska. Main concern will be large hail, damaging winds, maybe an isolated tornado. This will eventually become pretty linear, so damaging winds will become the main concern across Kansas. Once we go into late Saturday afternoon and into the evening hours, storms start to fire up in Missouri right around 7 to 8 o'clock. Anything there could produce an isolated tornado threat. Eventually by 10, 11, 12 o'clock, those storms continue to move across Missouri. We'll still have a line of storms producing some wind across Kansas, and eventually as we go into the overnight hours, most of the storm activity will be mostly wind with maybe an isolated tornado threat in southeastern Missouri. So just make sure you're staying weather aware, have a tornado action plan in place. Overall, nothing too out of the ordinary. Today's risk should be on the lower side of things when it comes to a tornado risk, but the wind threat will be a little bit more elevated, especially across Kansas and Missouri. And back over in the Ohio Valley, things will stay mostly dry today. Again, the main concern will be back over here in Missouri, maybe some thunderstorm activity in Illinois or Indiana. Nothing severe really expected there. Main concern again will be damaging winds, but we could get a couple of tornadoes with any storms back over here in southeastern Missouri and maybe even into southwestern Missouri. Once we go into Sunday morning, those storms will move into the Ohio Valley in areas like Kentucky and Tennessee. Main concern will be damaging winds, but overall that threat will really die down as we go into the afternoon, as mostly anything left over will just be showers. We could get a couple of severe storms back over here in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, or North Carolina where I circled, but overall main concern hail, wind, and maybe a brief tornado, but I think the risk there again is going to be on the lower side of things overall. Before today's video ends, I want to mention 3 different things. First off, we do now officially have a Cameo, so if you want any sort of videos when it comes to Father's Day celebrations, birthday celebrations, basically a personalized video from me, you can check this out with the link in the description. In addition to this, we also have a new release on shopmaxvelocity.net. There is a new pint glass and as well as a wine tumbler, which are Drunknado, which a lot of people were really wanting these. So if you want to check that out, link is in the description. And lastly, I do want to mention I will be on vacation again from today all the way until Friday. I do appreciate your understanding. I've never taken a break like this before, so this is definitely new for me. I won't have any live streams, but I'll have maybe a video or two over the course of the next 6 or 7 days. So stay tuned to the channel. Make sure to subscribe down below, and we will see you guys again probably in mid-June unless I have a video during the week.